Welcome back, and we're getting on with some requests, and I see a lot of viewers actually wants to get involved with this market, and all of them are asking requests about France. Where can I buy? What level can I get it in? I like this chart. I like this company. It's a wonderful company. They've got good management. Nothing can go wrong. They will always survive. And when I hear things like that, I'm always getting a little bit nervous because everybody just wants this market to go up. And for me personally, I think there's a few things that stands out for me. First of all, most markets is below their 200-day moving average, or on the weekly chart, below the 40-week moving average. I think we may be still in a cycle of interest rates going up. So why will the markets perish? Investor. Why? Because people will rather put their money in the bank. They will rather earn some interest there and avoid the risk of the markets. But we all know that we never know where the bottom is. And let's look at the charts. And the first one is Boeing. Well, I can remember many months ago, and this is a weekly chart, I actually showed this little line here, and I said, while it's above this line, everything is okay. We don't need to worry. And I think I actually showed another line then, because it was quite a while back, maybe that line. And look what happened there. If we look at Boeing, it went up beautifully. I mean, since 2020 in the COVID, I mean, in 2020, it fell off a cliff. I mean, there you are. It fell off from 339 all the way down to 92. I mean, and in a matter of a few weeks, what happened then? It recovered. And the trend was beautiful to the upside, and nothing almost perturbed the company. But then suddenly, there was my first warning below 239. Then that trend line broke. And what happened? Not in middle September last year, that little line broke, and that was at 212. And where's the share now? It's now trading at 131. Now, yes, there is maybe a double bottom here. You're quite right. So that looks okay to me. There's something else that we maybe need to look at. Let's just have a look here. Oops, sorry, excuse me. Let's just get that. If that's a double bottom, sorry. There's the first sign that maybe we can see a double bottom. I just want to draw in that line. There you can see. It touched that line, and that level is sitting at 119.20. While it is above 119.20, there is, and listen to my word, a possibility of a possible double bottom. Where will this double bottom come into play? This double bottom will only come into play when that resistance gets taken out. There's something else that I would like to show you. While we're on this weekly chart, I've always said that is my resistance line. Let's just draw that in. There you are. You can see that. And can you see that this line almost points at the exact point as that line? And that is above 172. This double bottom can come into play and maybe take the share up. And where's my target? Let's get the target from there to there. Let's extend it a little bit so that the viewers can see where do I get my targets from. If it bounces up there, it can maybe take the share all the way back to 218.14. That line is the line that tells us that the double bottom wants to kick in. That line tells us that the trend is still down. So at that inflection point, and that is the level, if it can get above that, let's call it 170 on a weekly close. Remember, this is a weekly chart. If that can turn into a support, maybe we can see a beautiful bounce out of Boeing. And remember, Boeing is a wonderful, solid company in the world. I mean, they do wonderful work. I don't think anybody that have ever been in an aeroplane hasn't used Boeing products or flew in a Boeing aeroplane. But this is the bottom line. The trend is down. We've got a possible double bottom in place. And if it drops below that 120, it can go even lower. I've got a long-term investor that's a client of mine, and he was 100% convinced that his shares, and he hasn't got Boeing, was 100% convinced about his portfolio that it will not go down because it's such wonderful companies. But what he has realized in the last year, that shares can go down, and shares can actually go lower than what you thought it can be. So that's the bottom line. We need to see this line turns into a support. And where's my stop loss? I know most technical analysts will say your stop loss is at 119.90. I mean, if it breaks above 172, you don't want the $50 or $60 stop loss. I will use that little stop loss there. I will maybe just show you the line there. And that will be, there you are. That will be 151, a $20 stop loss. Let's see, maybe Boeing can surprise us and maybe chip a little bit higher. I got a request for PayPal, and the viewer asked, he said, Frans, I hear all rumors in the market that PayPal can maybe go under. Something is wrong with the financials, the company is not solid, maybe something is wrong, and do you have your view changed? Well, for me it's quite simple. We showed the chart I think a few weeks back. We did see that the momentum is still clearly to the downside. I mean, the share came from 320 all the way down to 97 and 71 on the low, and we also see lower highs here. It's 100% correct. I say to myself, look, I am not a fundamental analyst. I have no idea about the fundamentals about the company. But what I say, there's my golden rule. While this trend line shows us lower highs, there you are, there's the lower highs, you can see them clearly, and I see that the share does not pick up. I believe that there is still maybe some sellers around, and the sellers are still selling, and while they are selling, why do you want to buy? But on the other hand, what I want to tell you is something else. Even with all the bad news with PayPal, look at that, and we showed this before, there's a possible inverse head and shoulder brewing on the chart. And there you are. There's the left shoulder. There's the head. And we're working on a possible right shoulder. Yes, we make lower lows. But I've said it many a time on the show. That you don't need maybe one shoulder. Sometimes you get multiple shoulders. I can remember many years ago with Sasol, was a huge head and shoulder brewing on the chart, and I think there was 3 or 4 right shoulders before it broke down, and then it went the company almost went bang. But for me, PayPal inverse head and shoulder is a positive information. But where is it a positive formation? If this neckline can turn into a support on a weekly chart, and that will be above 96.36. Unfortunately, below 96.36, the momentum is still to the downside, and the chart can actually go lower. So what do? We say, okay, we've got the neckline. Where's our target? Let's get the target. If the share starts to go, I just want to extend that. That target is it can take it up to 137. So buy above the neckline, not before then. Use a stop loss of where it ever turns, and at this point in time it will probably be 80 to 90 your stop loss. Don't buy before the neckline turns into a support. That is the golden rule. Let's look at Micron Solutions. Tiny little company, and it had a beautiful rally. It bounced from 154 all the way up to 290. I mean, if you did catch this beautiful V reversal, we've said it earlier on the program, sometimes you get a beautiful, you can saw a saucer pattern or a rounding bottom, look at my cursor, or sometimes you get these V reversals, and sometimes you miss out on the rally if you were not involved with the share before it turned around. But what do I see? Share always give you another opportunity. If you've missed out on the company and you like the company and you believe in the company, what do we see here? We see a trend line that's all the way to the downside. You see a long, prolonged left shoulder. There you are. But look at it. Many opportunities to try and break this trend line. It could not do that. But there's your head. Look at this massive head. All the way from here, that's the head, and we may be working on the right shoulder. And what's the bottom line? If you look at the right shoulder, wait for the neckline to turn into a support. And where will that be? I'm going to see if I can get a level. There you are. Sometimes you get a clue. There's the clue. You see where I get this line from? I just want to show you. There's the little pointer, and there's my pointer. And that will be at 276. Above 276, this neckline will turn into a support. The chart will probably turn around. And where's my targets? First of all, I will have always a conservative target, because I've seen over the years that technical analysis is not an exact science. I know sometimes it doesn't play out. I've actually got a friend the other day, he said to me, you know, Frans, what I like about the charts, I also know, and I've learned over the years, if I look at the window, I sometimes see that the window don't close 100%. So I'm never greedy. I always take a few points inside that window and I'm happy and I still make a little bit of money. But there's my conservative target. That will be 327. But where's my full target if the neckline turns into support and if the head and inverse head and shoulder plays out to the top? I mean, we can see this company, maybe Micron, all the way back to 426 in time to come. So that just tells you the trend is still down. The chart looks okay, maybe only buy above the neckline. Let us see if we can fit in Microsoft right at the end of the show, because our time is up. First of all, weekly chart. Trend is to the downside. I see a lower low, 100% in place. There you are. Why do you want to buy it? The best is not to buy it. I know it's a worldwide company. I know everything is fine. Wait for this share to finish with its downtrend. Where's my first sign? When this little line at 245 turns into a support, then we look at it. Not before that. And where will the trend eventually break? When that line breaks, and that will probably be at 267.20. Sit on your hands with Microsoft. You will have another opportunity to buy it. Well, thank you for watching the show. Visit our website www.fransdeklerk.com for more info, and we will chat again.